This is the big one. This is the beginning of the end of the nightmare that Justin Baldoni has faced the last year and change.
I clearly state that the backlash against Blake was organic and that Melissa Nathan never did anything wrong, because that is the truth.
Blake Lively just got obliterated in court after her latest legal stunt blew up in her face. The judge didn't just reject her, he shut her down on the spot. What she hyped as a smoking gun collapsed into a pile of contradictory stories and broken testimonies. Not even Ryan Reynolds' frantic PR spin could rescue her from the humiliation.
Is growing fast that Robert Downey Jr. is having trouble on the set of his new Avengers film with Ryan Reynolds.
Blake Lively walked into court like she was about to drop the ultimate mic this summer, only for the judge to tell her to sit down and be quiet. She marched in with a dramatic new filing, thinking it would be her bombshell against Justin Baldoni. Instead, the whole thing crumbled in real time. The irony? It's almost too perfect.
Oh, it all hinges upon Blake Lively trying to unearth this idea that Justin smeared her. But every sort of indication is that he was a pretty good boss.
And then James Vushka entered the chaos, turning the circus into full-blown farce. He was a Daily Mail reporter who, back in June 2025, swore under oath that he never heard Blake's publicist Leslie Sloan accuse Justin Baldoni of anything. That should have settled it. But weeks later, he flipped, filing a fresh statement claiming the Mail pressured him into the first version and that Friedman's team lied about him being their source. Now we've got sworn statement number 1 clashing, with sworn statement number 2 leaving everyone wondering, is Vushka just incompetent, or is someone pulling the strings behind the curtain?
Daily Mail reporter James Vituska, you can see it right here, sent an email and he laid out how Taylor Swift's publicist knew what was going on. Taylor wanted nothing to do with it.
Vushka's reversal wasn't just a casual, oops, my mistake. He went nuclear. In his new statement, he declared, "They cost me my job, reputation, and career." That's not a walkback. That's a declaration of war. He basically signaled he's ready to sue Brian Friedman himself, spelling out that he's lost his employment, lost his credibility, and is ready to torch everyone who dragged him into this circus. If you're Blake, you'd think this was the jackpot moment. But nope. The judge isn't buying it. Why? Because this is a guy who swore one thing in June, swore the opposite weeks later, and now wants everyone to treat his third version like gospel. That's not a smoking gun. It's a train wreck witness who can't keep his story straight. And Blake looks worse for trying to parade his flip-flop affidavit as her big win.
What we do know is Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, his credibility has been at stake when he said Blake Lively was extorting Taylor Swift. He withdrew the subpoena of Taylor Swift, probably because he has all this information. Why subpoena for a bunch of information if they give you exactly what you need?
Then came the ultimate humiliation. Judge Lyman wrecking Blake's big reveal. She stormed into court, waving Vushka's affidavit like she'd uncovered Watergate, only to get hit with a brutal shutdown. The judge told her flat out, "Not your time to speak." Case closed. Her entire filing was tossed before it even hit the record. No shortcuts, no ambushes, no grandstanding. Imagine thinking you're about to land a knockout punch, and instead, the ref benches you before the bell. Rings. That's Blake right now. Impulsive, overdramatic, and completely out of her depth.
Everything that she's feeding to James Vitushka is a way to try and smear Justin Baldoni.
The comparison is almost too funny. Blake clearly thinks she's Elle Woods strutting into Harvard with a pink briefcase, ready to drop truth bombs nobody can ignore. In reality, the judge treated her like a freshman blurting out Wikipedia in the middle of class. Total embarrassment, and honestly, she earned it. If your big strategy is to weaponize James Vushka, a guy who can't even decide which sworn statement he stands by, then don't be shocked when the court clowns you.
Trying to discredit James Vituska. James Vituska made a statement this week that changed his word, which essentially means he's not credible. But why did he change his word? Why is he now supporting Blake Lively when privately in the past he was supporting this notion that Blake was slamming Justin Baldoni and accusing him of all these things?
Now enter Leslie Sloan, because if Blake is the face of this disaster, Sloan is the hand pulling the strings. Screenshots show her spoon-feeding Vushka dirt about Justin Baldoni like it was an all-you-can-eat buffet of lies. She claimed the whole cast hated him, that he controlled everything, that no one respected him. Really? Not a single cast member has said that publicly, yet Sloan was out here spinning gossip like some bargain bin blogger, all while being paid to protect Blake's image, some top-tier publicist.
Some believe James Fatuska changed his tune because he was lured into, false promises or whatever on Blake Lively's side. Blake Lively as a offensive. I know, get your tinfoil hat on.
Then came the email that blew the lid off. Sloan actually argued Justin shouldn't direct abuse scenes because a man shouldn't decide everything. That's a direct quote. So let's get this straight. Justin shouldn't direct scenes in a film he brought to life because he's a man. Meanwhile, Blake is demanding final say and sneaking her husband Ryan into the process like an unpaid Marvel intern. The hypocrisy is nauseating. Sloan cloaks it in fake feminism, but it's nothing more than a smear campaign designed to paint Justin as a monster while shielding Blake's brand.
He said, Sloan and I discussed Justin Baldoni multiple times, and the information she provided was used in several published stories in the Daily Mail.
And notice how convenient Sloan makes it for Ryan Reynolds. She literally writes, Ryan had nothing to do with this except writing the rooftop scene. Oh, so he had nothing to do with it, except that he was directly writing parts of the movie? Please. They want him to look like an innocent bystander while he's whispering in Blake's ear, tweaking scripts, and shaping the PR playbook. Sloan bent over backwards to protect him, because she knows Ryan's image is all they've got left. Deadpool can't look dirty, right? But the second you see his fingerprints on this, you know he's been part of the machine the entire time.
She added, we cannot use this, but Ryan had nothing to do with this. She's pointing out specifically that Ryan had nothing to do with this. She forgot to say except writing that rooftop scene and being responsible for the promotion of the film.
And here's where the hypocrisy goes from bad to farce. Blake and Ryan keep crying about being smeared, claiming Justin's running some secret PR campaign against them, when in reality, Sloan was the one feeding anti-Justin stories straight to the Daily Mail, People, and TMZ. Headlines like Cast Hates Baldoni and Justin Oversteps on Set didn't just appear out of nowhere. Sloan planted them. And then Blake turns around and plays the victim of bad press. No. Blake, you are the bad press. You and Ryan turned this into your full-time job, and Sloan is just the courier delivering the poison.
Only thing that they did, that they have evidence of what that they did, was to push Justin Baldoni's narrative that he's not a bad guy.
Enter Isabella Ferrer, the 24-year-old actress who played young Blake in It Ends With Us. If anyone's stuck in the crossfire, it's her, but sympathy is running thin. Isabella had no problem accepting a subpoena from Blake's side. Yet the second Justin's lawyers tried to serve her, she was dodging it like it was radioactive. She's perfectly willing to testify for Blake, but not for Justin. If that doesn't scream bias, what does?
B, people are calling Isabella Ferrer and Blake Lively frauds, that by the two-face sort of commentary she gave to Baldoni and is now clearly supporting Blake Lively.
And here's the kicker. This is the same Isabella who couldn't stop praising Justin Baldoni during filming. She gushed about him constantly, calling the set a safe space and life-changing. Not vague compliments, direct receipts. She texted Justin, I couldn't have asked for a more welcoming environment. It will stay with me forever. That's not just flattery. That's gratitude to someone who gave you your big break and treated you with respect.
They're saying that Isabel is a victim of Blake Lively's and she's being rewarded for her silence. Some are saying that she's just as bad as Blake. And what does this all come from? This week came out of nowhere.
But now, under Blake's wing, Isabella's rewriting history. Suddenly, she's refusing to testify, acting like those texts don't exist, and critics have already branded her Isabella fraud. The name sticks. At best, she's being manipulated by Blake and Ryan. At worst, she's playing both sides to save her career. Either way, her credibility is toast. If you once said a director created a safe space and changed your life, but months later refused to confirm it in court because it doesn't fit Blake's narrative, people see through that.
Name is Isabella Ferrer.
It's ridiculous.
What a fraud. And again, look, she's a young woman and you make mistakes. She's only 24 or something like that. So
26.
I want her to be forgiven after she does the.
And then came the real nuclear bomb. James Vitusa, and a leaked email dated May 28, 2025. In it, he accuses Blake Lively of trying to blackmail Taylor Swift into backing her claims. Not rumor, not spin, a direct allegation. According to Vitusa, Blake tried to rope Taylor into her legal circus only for Taylor's father, Scott Swift, to shut it down immediately and tip off Brian Friedman's camp. That should have been the end of Blake's career right there. Trying to drag Taylor Swift into your collapsing case? That's not bold, it's suicide.
Situation in which a woman falsely accused a man of harassment, knowing that would be Blake Lively accusing Justin Baldoni, knowing that this did not occur, and also knowing that it would destroy his life. She did this to save her own reputation, which was tarnished by her own doing. Sloan played into this by feeding me false information to try and save her client.
But it gets uglier. Vitusa claims his source for the blackmail story is none other than Tree Payne, Taylor's legendary publicist. He says Tree herself handed him the information. If that's true, and if Tree testifies under oath, Blake's finished. Tree Payne doesn't miss. Her PR fortress has protected Taylor for over a decade. If she puts her name on something, it's bulletproof. The fact Blake allegedly tried to extort her own child's godmother is disgusting enough. But if Tree goes on the record, that's not just bad optics. That's a career-ending torpedo.
Sloan played into this by feeding me false information to try and save her client. Sloan is a liar. And if I were to agree to these terms, all it would do is paint me as the dishonest one. It would also throw Nathan, Abel, and Baldoni under the bus, and that is not something that I am willing to do.
And this explains why Taylor Swift has stayed completely silent through the chaos. She's protecting herself, keeping her distance, and refusing to get dragged into Blake's meltdown. Not a tweet. Not an Instagram post. Not even a cryptic lyric. Nothing. Taylor's silence speaks louder than any statement. She knows Blake's story doesn't hold up. And for Blake, that's the ultimate nightmare. Because when even your supposed best friend won't stick her neck out, everyone knows. Something reeks.